Hello everyone, this is Vitaming. Today we are going through the book 6 Thinking Hat to help you to think better. Why do we need to think better? Well, we think of 30,000 thoughts in daily life, and your success in business depends on how well you think. So 6 thinking books with a practical and unique approach to making decisions and new ideas allows you to use these 6 hats: the white hat, neutral and objective, concerned with facts and figure; emotional view, red hat; black hat, careful and cautious; and yellow hat, positive and sunny; green hat, fertile growth, creativity, new ideas; and also blue hat, the color of the sky and everything, the organizing hat. So let's start talking about the hats. So today we are going to go through the power of the hat. So first, it helps you to save time, because using the 6 thinking hats allow you to think better, and from every side of report of how much quicker the meeting become when the 6 hats are used. Meetings take half of the time, because people think better, then ideas could bounce off better. And a lot of things of good thinking is confusion is the biggest enemy of good thinking. We try to do too many things at the same time. If you are the same, comment below, because this video would help you tremendously. Alright, so let's start with the white thinking hat. What does that represent? Represent logic, thinking logically, facts and figures, and also efficiency. What do you mean by efficiency? It's also a measure of efficiency, such as how fast you read. It's a good thing to have, knowing if you want to develop a good reading habit. Knowing how fast you read is good. Dishwashing, 3 dish per minute, car speed 60 miles per hour, how long you drive. Just, when someone is late, just have a thinking of like, oh, how fast do they drive? How long does it take for them to get here? And maybe they're in the traffic. So thinking in logical actually makes sense. And when a friend tells you, I'm gonna be late 30 minutes, people get angry immediately. But if we think logically, maybe he's in traffic. Maybe he is, his car break down, so that he drive 20 miles per hour instead of 60 miles per hour. Because people always assume they drive the best, but maybe 20, 25, just a logical measure. And how do we use this realistically? Well, think these before you do. This is the goal of this video. It's just, how are you gonna do it? Where, what, logical, and who. So to me, as I'm a water analyst in Denver's lab, one of the biggest lab in United States, Lawrence Berkeley lab. So the way I think is to think of riskiness of such things. This is related to the black hat, but whenever I get a new sample of water or something that my boss want to test, I want to know where it's from. How do you get it? How? And on top of that, what that water is. And think logically, what's the most logical way to treat that water? And also who. Who am I treating it for? Who am I doing it for? Depending, this leads to cost and also different kind of things. And money from our company paying me and lots of things. So anyway, moving on to other people. So this is to me and this is to other people. So there's a weekend that I go out shooting with my friend, and we're just testing a gun, like a short 22 M22 rifle. And I thought it was okay because I was international student, but basically what we didn't thought is that we shot the gun at night. The sky turned dark really soon, and it is really interesting that how our action, if we think of how it affects other people, would change our actions. So if we have thought about it being affecting to others because it was a close neighborhood, I obviously thought it was okay, because my friend said okay. But I should think of how and what. How does it affect our neighbor? If I were that neighbor, how would I think? If I hear gunshot, I would think, oh, there might be a crisis. There might be a break-in. There might be someone get hurt, from that gunshot. So thinking of others' perspective or stand on others' perspective is the key here, just to think logically. And that's about the red hat, the white hat. And let's move to the red hat. So the red hat is the emotional hat that helps you to think better and outsmart people and outthink others. Because this could be used in many places, like debate, entrepreneurship, business, many things, workplace, because office politics, whatever, office. But so basically the emotional hat is basically recognizing what kind of emotion we have. We have unstable emotion, very true. And for example, if you are a student, this is teacher, if you got a really bad grade, 2 out of 100, that's really bad from a professor. Many people at the first initial situation, they would get case A, they would get really angry. Why does I have this bad grade? And then they will like lash out at professor or hit the computer screen, break the computer screen, whatever, that happens. But what's the result of this? Basically, red hat thinking is thinking of what kind of result could this lead to. So the student get a bad score and he, lament the professor, he'll probably get a GPA 1.0, that happens to many people, including, there's me sometimes, that happens to me, but you want to avoid it. So case 2, think of other scenario. If he have the red hat on him, what would he think? Well, if he wears the red hat, very classy, and he would think, okay, first, what kind of mistake did I make in the test? Is my, he's kind of using logical thinking too, just like, what kind of mistake did I make that leads me to anger? So knowing where your emotion is coming from, the source is that you make mistake and you have a low score. So that's why you have a bad mood. And just think of the professor. How would the professor emotionally feel when I do this, my reaction? Well, he'll feel really bad and probably I'll get a bad GPA. He'll feel bad, but he's just doing his job. So there's no way I should lament him. So this is a no-no if you think of these two, because it's totally your fault, right? And if you think of other things that emotional may help you is, what can I do to make me happier? And prevent this happening. Well, I could get help from other classmates, maybe from Jane, maybe from someone who's really good at math, or I play too much games, so I just have to eliminate games out of my life. And if you think in the red hat, your eyes will be on fire, not likely, your head would go up, your hair would go really crazy, not really likely, but you study harder and you will not play games because you don't want this to happen again. Well, unless you do. And studying 3 hours per day, that's what I did when I failed my test. And you'll get a GPA 3.2 if you do this every day consistently. I will have a video on about consistency and improvement. So self-improvement, that's our channel. Wise up. I want everyone in the society to know this, because school doesn't teach us how to manage emotion and time. But anyway, so here's a tip or an application. So how does one thing you do affect your emotion? So this is very useful to many people, because before we do anything like work or some kind of things, we will be affected by emotion and we might procrastinate. The first thing. The second thing is that we might get upset when we don't do the task. And 3, we get into a cycle. That's no good. So if you want to avoid this, you should have more wisdom. And let's say you are watching this channel right now, 10 minutes have passed, and you're thinking of why you're doing this. Well, if you think it in terms of the red hat, you should know why are we watching this. Well, you're having wisdom, and wisdom makes you happier. Why? Because less stress and failure. And it makes you more cheerful. Why? Because you have more friends that likes you, because you share my wisdom. And make sure you share the wisdom. This is not the perfect animation whiteboard, but that's what I have for now. So you have to have this thinking space or time when you have emotion. That's extremely crucial to think on the result on the red hat. Well, so that's the emotional hat, red hat. And the third hat, this is basically part 1/2. And the last one is, I don't want to have it too long, it's just black hat. So what does black hat means? It means the devil's advocate, the worst case scenario. If me and my friends at the previous example, the gun example, if we had thought of this, okay, what could happen? Police could come if we shot people, and neighbors might be afraid. And if we thought of that, we won't shoot the gun at night. But the end of story is that we shot the gun at night. And neighbor was not happy. He come with a pistol. And and the neighbor had a bad story. So he have a bad day. So because he have kids and he doesn't want his kids to be hurt. But anyway, this is a good hat to think whatever situation you're at. Whenever you're a business, you think of the worst case. Oh, what if my company collapse? What if today I don't get customer? What if I don't get enough money to pay my employees? Then you think of the way, how do you actually earn more money, right? Because everything is relative. And for entrepreneurs, that's good. For debating, you think of, oh, if someone have this kind of argument, how can I counter argument? CA. But this is about everything we have today. So we go through the white hat, the red hat, and the black hat. The white hat is about thinking logically. Think of the why, the efficiency, fact and figures, and ask yourself why before you do things. Emotionally, it is about what kind of emotion we have and knowing where the emotion can lead us to, and how can we affect that the emotional not affect our day. And there's many ways to do it. And the last hat is devil's advocate, which is the worst case scenario. How could the situation be bad, and how can we solve it, and how can we prevent it? And here we go, the 6 thinking hats by Edward De Bono. This is part 1/2. And if you want more, part 2/2, the blue hat and the green hat and the yellow hat, please subscribe and share, and remember to click the bell next to the subscribe button to receive the latest video, because I'm doing this because this creates more wisdom in the society, and most importantly, if I have learned this earlier, I'll be much more happier, because I've gone through many failures in life. But if you want the society and your kids in the future to be happier, that's my wish. Share this video and hopefully more people will learn from it. So anyway, this is Wisdom Vitamin, Wise Up episode, and see you guys next time. And let us wise up by using these knowledge in life and sharing it to other people.